I've got $1 million in my TSP, so I'm all set for retirement, right? Not necessarily. Let's cash in. Having a large TSP balance is only half the battle. Knowing how to convert it into a lifetime income stream is what really matters. Today I'm breaking down the exact withdrawal strategies that can contribute to your TSP lasting decades longer. We'll explore the critical differences between traditional and Roth accounts that nobody tells you about, how your life expectancy should dictate your withdrawal rate, and what the FIRE movement can teach us about making retirement funds last, even if you're not planning to retire early. So you've got $1 million in your TSP account. Congratulations. But before you start planning that dream retirement, you need to address a critical question. Is that $1 million really worth $1 million? The answer isn't as straightforward as you might think, and it largely depends on whether your savings are in a traditional or a Roth TSP account. Let's consider Major James, who recently retired from service with exactly $1 million in his TSP, $500,000 in traditional and $500,000 in Roth. On paper, both accounts show the same balance, but their actual spending power differs dramatically because of how they're taxed. This brings us to the first critical withdrawal mistake many service members make: treating traditional and Roth TSP funds as equivalent when planning withdrawals. They are fundamentally different animals with different tax implications that can significantly impact your retirement income. With the traditional TSP, Major James made contributions with pre-tax dollars, which reduced his taxable income during his working years, essentially giving him a tax break when his income was likely higher. That sounds great until retirement, when every dollar he withdraws gets taxed as ordinary income. Those taxes can take a substantial bite out of his retirement income. Let's break down what this means in practical terms. If Major James withdraws $40,000 from his traditional TSP in 1 year, he'll pay taxes on that entire amount. However, if he spreads those withdrawals across 2 years at $20,000 each, he could potentially save $2,000 in taxes due to staying in a lower tax bracket. This tax-saving approach becomes even more impactful over the decades of retirement. In contrast, his Roth TSP contains that money and it's already been taxed. As long as he meets certain conditions, being at least 59 years old, all withdrawals are completely tax-free. That means $500,000 in his Roth TSP is actually worth a full $500,000 in spending power. The order in which Major James withdraws from these accounts creates a ripple effect that can result in over $50,000 in taxes over 30 years of retirement. This is where strategic withdrawal planning becomes essential. Another factor that complicates matters is RMDs, or required minimum distributions. Once Major James reaches the age of 73, he'll be forced to withdraw a certain percentage from his traditional TSP, regardless of whether he needs the money or not. This can push him into a higher tax bracket and increase his tax burden when he least expects it. The Roth TSP, however, offers significant advantages here. It's exempt from RMDs during the owner's lifetime. This gives Major James much greater flexibility in how he manages his money throughout retirement. So what's the strategic approach? It's about using the right account at the right time. During years when Major James has lower income, perhaps before he starts collecting Social Security, he might want to withdraw from his traditional TSP. The lower income means he'll pay less in taxes on those withdrawals. During years with higher income, he can tap into his Roth TSP for tax-free withdrawals, preventing his income from pushing him into an even higher tax bracket. This strategy requires planning and coordination. It's not about emptying one account before moving to the next. It's about strategically withdrawing from both accounts based on your tax situation each year. While balancing tax implications is crucial, we're about to confront an even more fundamental question. How long will your money actually need to last? Military retirees statistically live longer than the average American, which means the standard retirement withdrawal calculations could leave you financially vulnerable during your final years, exactly when you might need resources the most. Major James planned his retirement assuming he'd need TSP to last 30 years, but what happens if he lives longer? What if instead of passing away at 85, he celebrates his 95th birthday? This single variable, life expectancy, could completely derail even the most tax-efficient withdrawal strategy. This is where the FIRE movement, or financially independent, retire early, offers valuable insights that challenge traditional retirement wisdom. You've probably heard financial planners recommend the 4% rule, withdrawing 4% of your retirement savings annually, adjusted for inflation. The theory suggests that this approach should ensure your money lasts about 30 years. But the FIRE community has questioned whether this rule remains valid in today's economic environment. Instead of fixed withdrawal percentages, the FIRE movement advocates for dramatic and dynamic withdrawal strategies that respond to changing market conditions and personal circumstances. This approach allows for adjustments based on actual portfolio performance rather than adhering to a rigid withdrawal rate regardless of what's happening in the market. Let's visualize for a moment what happens to a $1 million TSP balance under different withdrawal scenarios. At a 4% withdrawal rate, your balance would steadily decline over 30 years, potentially reaching zero around year 30. But drop that rate to 3.5% and your money might last 35 to 40 years. Further reduce it to 3% and you could potentially maintain your balance for much longer, possibly even indefinitely depending on market performance. The key insight here isn't just about picking a lower percentage, it's about flexibility. In years when markets perform well, you might safely withdraw slightly more. During market downturns, reducing your withdrawal rate even temporarily can significantly extend your TSP's longevity. Consider this scenario. Major James starts with his planned 4% withdrawal rate, but during a market downturn in year 5 of retirement, instead of taking his regularly scheduled withdrawal amount, he reduces it temporarily to 3.5%. This single adjustment might add years to his retirement funding, especially if the reduction occurs early in retirement. This brings us to the second critical mistake that many TSP participants make: failing to adjust their withdrawal strategy based on changing health and longevity expectations. When Major James retired at 60, he estimated a 30-year retirement. But at age 70, after a complete physical showing excellent health markers, his doctor tells him he has a biological profile of somebody much younger. This is wonderful news, except his financial plan didn't account for potentially needing funds for an additional decade. This scenario highlights the importance of choosing the right withdrawal method. The TSP offers several options, including partial distributions and automatic monthly payments. Using partial distributions provides maximum flexibility, allowing Major James to adjust his withdrawals based on his changing needs and market conditions. Automatic monthly payments provide consistency, but reduce flexibility to adapt to changing circumstances. For example, if Major James set up automatic monthly payments based on his original 30-year plan, he might deplete his funds too quickly. But taking partial distributions, he can reassess his withdrawal strategy annually or even quarterly, making adjustments as his health, market conditions, and other income sources evolve. The FIRE movement ultimately teaches us that successful retirement planning is not about rigid rules. It's about adaptability. Instead of fixed withdrawal percentages, consider using dynamic rates that respond to your investment performance, health status, and changing financial landscape. This approach provides both financial security and the flexibility to enjoy your retirement on your terms. So here's the bottom line. The success of your military retirement isn't just about hitting that $1 million TSP milestone. The upcoming challenges to TSP rules include the shift of RMDs to age 75 by 2033. By making strategic withdrawal planning more critical than ever, remember, it's the execution of your withdrawal strategy that ultimately determines your financial comfort. Experts consistently find that structuring withdrawals to minimize tax liability can dramatically enhance your retirement income. Your careful planning today can prevent thousands in unnecessary taxes tomorrow. That's why next week, we will take this knowledge to the next level by showing you exactly how to integrate your military pension and VA benefits with your TSP withdrawals. This comprehensive approach will help you build that fortress of financial security that you've earned through your years of service. Let's cash in on that military retirement that you've worked so hard to build.
The RINO Invest and Cash In with Cassian YouTube channels are hosted by Cassian Nuñez. Cassian Nuñez is a financial planner with RINO INVEST Wealth Management. RINO INVEST Wealth Management is a registered investment advisory firm regulated by the Securities Division of the state of Georgia in accordance and compliance with the securities laws and regulations. RINO INVEST Wealth Management does not render or offer to render personalized investment or tax advice through the RINO Invest and Cash In with Cash In YouTube channels. The information provided is for informational purposes only, may not be suitable for all investors, and does not constitute financial, tax, investment, or legal advice. All investments involve a degree of risk, including the risk of loss.